How's it going, everybody? And I know. It's been a while again, but you know what? Guess who's back again? It's me. I get that it's been a while, but let's go over a new story in What If Kakarot was sent to planet Cereal? How does Goku or Kakarot's life change now that he's in the involvement with Granola way earlier on? Let's find out today. The story begins with Bardock reconsidering the idea of sending Kakarot to Earth. He would think back on the plan and think that if he fails to stop Frieza, what's going to stop Frieza from tracking Kakarot down? If Kakarot is going to be a target, then he should at least learn how to fight. Where could he send Kakarot where he could learn to fight though? That's when the idea would hit him. He would send Kakarot off to planet Cereal. He would send a description alongside Kakarot in hopes that Monaito would receive them. Bardock would send Kakarot to Cereal and meet his inevitable end to Frieza. Once Kakarot's pod would arrive on the planet, it would arrive relatively to where the Saiyans arrived to face the Cerealians. Granola would notice the pod come into view and wouldn't take any risk and would head over to Kakarot. Granola would arrive to the crash site and would cautiously walk towards the pod as he would begin to charge up a blast. The pod would then open and Granola would jump on top, aiming his blast towards a baby? Granola would be surprised to see a baby, but then angered to see that the baby had a tail, a Saiyan tail. Granola would prepare to execute the baby, but his hesitation would grow as the baby would begin to cry. Granola would tell himself to end this parasite before it begins to wreak havoc, but it was only a baby who did nothing. Granola would then power down as he heard his name from Monaito in the distance. Monaito would be confused to see the boy in these ruins, but then fearful as he would see a baby who looked like Bardock in a pod. Monaito would go over and see the baby and also a note by him. Monaito would read the message and would be surprised to learn that it was Bardock's son. Bardock would say in the message that he possibly died because of Frieza and that he needs someone to train his boy and to raise him to become a powerful fighter. Monaito would be conflicted by this as now he has to raise Bardock's son as well as Granola. How would he hide Kakarot from the Heaters? Only time would tell as he brought the baby back to his home. Granola would be confused on why they are taking in this Saiyan. It was because of their race that their people were killed, and most of all, his mother. Monaito wouldn't know how to help Granola. He wanted to tell Granola the truth, but this could cost the boy's life. Monaito would say that this Saiyan is only an infant and deserves to live a life rather than have it robbed. He'd tell Granola that they can raise the boy into a being for peace rather than destruction. This would leave Granola bitter, and he wouldn't exactly be on board with the idea, so for most of Kakarot's childhood, Granola wouldn't be as involved. As Kakarot begins to grow up, Monaito sees that this boy has a drive to fight, just like his father, but how would he be able to train him? Monaito would question whether to use the Cerealian Dragon Balls, but what would he wish for? Maybe to revive Bardock? No. If he does that, then Granola would find out the truth. He could just wish for Kakarot to be sent to another planet to live a better life with a better family, but then he gets an idea. Kakarot is only aggressive because of his Saiyan side, so Monaito will use the wish to make Kakarot into a normal baby. This is our story's equivalent to Goku's headbutt. This helps with Monaito in efforts to raise the boy. Kakarot would become a cheery child, but his drive to fight would still be there, so Monaito would show off some tricks that his fellow Namekians had before they were killed. Kakarot over time would try to hang out with Granola, but Granola would be like a grumpy older brother to him. Whenever Granola would train, Kakarot would join him, with Kakarot easily replicating the Cerealian sniper style. This would outrage Granola, as this Saiyan is replicating his people's moves. He doesn't deserve it. Granola would try to fight Kakarot at times, but Kakarot would be too strong for him. This would continue for some time, and Kakarot and Granola would unknowingly be getting stronger each and every time. Monaito wouldn't approve of this though, and would tell the two that they need to be careful or someone can get hurt. As Kakarot would continue to grow up, Monaito would tell Kakarot about his father, with Monaito saying that his father was a hero, with Kakarot being inspired by this and wishing that he could meet his father. Monaito would tell Kakarot that maybe one day when he's older, but now wouldn't be the time. Kakarot would sometimes go to the city and would meet the Shigarians, with the Shigarians welcoming him. Soon enough, the Heaters would find out about Kakarot, with Elec being surprised about a Saiyan surviving an attack from Frieza's. Gas would see the boy and become angered by his appearance, about looking like Bardock. Elec would decide to have Kakarot go out on missions, just like Granola would. Maybe, if these two get strong enough, they can take out Frieza, and the Heaters can finally take over. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and if you guys had enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe, as it does help me get more into having these videos come out. And I understand this part was very short, so the next part, going over the Saiyan saga, will be coming up very soon, sooner than you expect, so stay tuned for that. This series is going to be getting a full story, as every single part will be coming up after each video, so you won't have to worry about any other videos or any other what ifs being in between this video. This is going to be a continued part all the way through for the next upcoming week, so stay tuned for that. Now, with the Heaters interfering in Kakarot and Granola's life, how will events change, and how will the Saiyans come across Kakarot on the Cerulean planet, with Granola also being around? So, these are questions we'll answer in the next part, so stay tuned for then. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and later!